Hey, we're going to give about one more minute. Group, let me see, who's first today? Group 5, y'all have the ability to go ahead and put start getting ready to put your stuff up on the you know on the share screen, and we'll get started in 1 minute. Okay. All right. Looks like we're just going to be shy about 6 people today, so let's hope they're not in the groups. Brandon, is everyone here except for the one member that was had a problem?
I believe everyone is here. Just
Okay.
a quick look through the participants. Yeah.
Should have okay. Should have 5 people. Um I'm looking. I think y'all are here. Okay. Okay, Brandon, when y'all are ready, let's fire away.
Hello. Our social media group project is on LinkedIn. My name is Brandon Vu.
I'm Angela Patrick.
I'm Vincent Gabriel Malikse.
I'm Inez Gonzalez.
I'm Lisbeth Romero.
And Yesenia will be here in spirit. So our presentation agenda today will go over LinkedIn's applications in healthcare, how to set up an account, and how to use the application itself. Some applications in healthcare, but first some background info.
All right, I'm going to give a quick little background about LinkedIn. It was first launched May 5th of 2003 by the 5 gentlemen that are listed under the founders. They came up with it in 2002 and then shortly launched in 2003, and it's one of the oldest social media platforms. And within the first year, it actually reached 100 million users. They originally created it to have one of the first business-oriented online networks. Currently, it's owned by Microsoft, and it hosts about 830 million professional profiles, which is basically just an unlimited supply of network connections and job opportunities. So it's a great platform to have. Next slide. And then this is just a little chart about like age groups and like what age groups are more on LinkedIn versus others. And you can kind of see the middle bar. I think it's like 26 years old to like mid 30s. Is like the majority of the users and those people that are like in the job markets and looking to connect with people in their field, etc. Next slide. So a little bit about applications in healthcare. Unlike other social media apps, LinkedIn is specifically tailored to connect professionals within their industries, and it's extremely important for networking in a healthcare setting. Healthcare professionals can keep in touch with their mentors and colleagues and form new relationships with other industry professionals, and it's an extremely good resource for professional development. You can participate in groups and communities related to your field, publish articles, promote your research. I have 7 little things here that's really important for creating a network for professionals to connect with their industries. Healthcare professionals can keep in touch with their mentors and colleagues and form new relationships with other industry professionals. Creates professional development. You can find mentors and sponsors, participate in groups and communities, publish articles and blog posts, informing others about other healthcare information. Those who may be interested in like learning more about a specific field in healthcare, this is really important for that. And then just overall promoting your research. A great example of how LinkedIn is used is if a pharmaceutical company uses LinkedIn, they can connect with potential clients. They are sharing articles and infographics about their latest research and progress, and they are running sponsored content campaigns to target specific audiences. And I'll turn it over to Brandon to finish this off.
Yeah, so LinkedIn is a site that's a really good resource for healthcare professionals to stay up to date on the latest trends and innovations, which is really important because healthcare is a very rapidly changing environment. Some organizations host webinars on LinkedIn, which provide educational opportunities for users. And you can even find webinars specifically for marketing in healthcare on LinkedIn too. So from an organizational perspective, you can use LinkedIn to build trust for the community. One example from this was when Johnson & Johnson, throughout the whole period of their COVID vaccine development, they basically blogged all their research and their progress throughout all of like 2020. And over the course of that whole blog, they garnered over 1 million views from other healthcare professionals during its runtime. And as an organization, you can also use LinkedIn to keep tabs on whatever your competitors are doing, or you can recruit potential employees. With easy access to candidate information and credentials, it's very easy to use LinkedIn for job posting and hiring. Healthcare professionals looking to work for a specific employer can reach out to those who already work for that employer, and they can see what it's like to work there.
Good morning, guys. I'm Inez, and I'm going to go over how to set up an account. So LinkedIn, while it is a social media app, you don't need to download the app to use it, which is really beneficial. So you can make an account through the website. When you make that account, you're going to want to have an email, a password ready, and then your first and last name. One big tip that I found was you don't want to use an office place email, just because that will tie you to that one organization. And then you're going to start off with uploading a photo. Vincent's going to go really in depth into what a photo should look like for a professional account, but just be mindful that it is going to be seen by professionals and human resources and throughout the hiring process. And then from there, you're going to want to write a summary about yourself, just explaining what you're looking for, not necessarily all your experience in the industry, but definitely highlight different programs you've completed and things of that nature. And then following that, you're going to describe your experience. And when describing your experience, you can also add skills to that. I've noticed that at minimum 5 skills per job in your experience is really beneficial. And then looking at what different kinds of skills you want to add, you can look into different job listings and see skills that are listed there, just because verbiage does matter throughout the hiring process. So that's a really good way to find some. And then following that, you're going to list your education. You could go as far back as like high school, any community college courses you've taken, and then currently we're all at Cal State Long Beach. And then you can go to the next slide, please, Brandon. And from that, you can create a custom URL, which is really beneficial because it makes you stand out to the hiring process and things like that. So I uploaded a screenshot of what it would look like. And you can click your profile and then edit public profile and URL at the top right. And then from there, it's still going to have the regular link, but you can enter your first and last name, which just makes you more recognizable. However, that does come on a first come, first serve basis. So you want to be mindful if someone else already took that name. And then from there, you can also make connections, which Vincent's going to talk about. And you can have recommendations uploaded to your profile for potential job listings. So once you make those connections, you can select their profile, and then you can select more, and there's a message option. And in that message option, you can request a recommendation. And once they receive it on their end and they upload it, it will be uploaded on your profile and visible to potential employers. And then I'm going to pass it over to Vincent, and he's going to go a little more in depth about all those things.
Hi guys, I'm Vincent, and I'll be providing some tips and suggestions to make your profile stand out compared to your competition. So for your profile picture, you'd want to choose a high quality photo that shows you smiling, preferably something that, you know, you look friendly in, wearing something professional attire or just something neutral. You have many examples here in the picture right there of people smiling with their professional attire, because that's what employers are going to look for when they see your profile. For the background, you just want in your photo just something simple or neutral, or just a white background, because you want to maintain simplicity while not having any distractions in the back. And for your cover photo, it should be something with a nice design, nothing too outrageous with colors or anything that's distracting, you know, something along the lines of what I have here in the example of just, you know, a good design, just something that people will be attracted to, but not be distracted by, I guess, the colors or the design or the aesthetics of it. And for the headline and job title, so for your professional title, you'd want to put whatever current job position you have. Obviously, since we're in healthcare, you'd want to put your current healthcare job position or anything that you've held before previously to show what experience you have in that certain field or job position. And something to add to that, it's not required, but it is good, because adding a unique sentence, something that's simple next to your job title, shows that you're not just another job title or have the same exact job title as like 20 other candidates. You'd want people who want to hire you look at it and say, oh, this candidate stands out from the rest. Now, for relevancy and keywords in the about section. So the about section kind of gives like an overall summary or a little bit about yourself. So I'd recommend looking at professionals that have the similar about section as you do and research them. And I would suggest cross-referencing them and creating an about section similar to that of professionals that have the job position or similar job position that you have, and create your own about section, using similar words and phrases, because recruiters look for certain qualities and requirements and skills regarding certain job positions in those healthcare facilities, and they're more likely to look at your profile and potentially hire you. Also, you should add 5 relevant skills, because, well, you'd want to have skills that actually pertain to the job requirement. And please use skills or put skills in your profile that you can actually do and are comfortable doing, because you don't want to put skills that, you just want to put on there, but when it comes to the actual job and you have to do those things and you don't know how to do it, then that'll be bad for your reputation, also for the reputation of the company. And I would suggest getting endorsement from colleagues or friends for verification in LinkedIn, just to, show your employers that, hey, this person actually knows how to do, for example, Microsoft Excel, or they're very good at Microsoft Access or Word, PowerPoint, whatever it may be. And then for your custom LinkedIn URL, you should make one and you should put them in your resume, because in addition to whatever you give to the employer through everything's in technology now, email, you give your resume and your cover letter, you'd want to put that URL in that resume, just so when they click on it, they have a better understanding of who you are. And it's a, alternative option besides just looking at your resume to get to know you. And it's really helpful to getting hired for that job position you want. And I'll give it over now to Elizabeth, who will talk about how to use the LinkedIn application.
So today I'll be discussing how to use the LinkedIn application. So the LinkedIn job search and application process is a valuable tool to find job opportunities and submit job applications directly through the platform. So there are 2 ways to narrow down job recommendations. The first option would be by selecting job preferences. So LinkedIn's job preferences helps healthcare professionals by allowing us to set specific criteria for the positions we do seek. You can select your job preferences by selecting View Profile. Once you select View Profile, you will click on Open To. Then you'll select Finding a New Job. Once you've done these steps, you'll specify the job title and location by selecting Add Title and Location. You can choose whether you want only recruiters or all LinkedIn members to be aware that you're open to the job opportunities. Lastly, you will save these changes and select Add to Profile. And then once you have customized your job preferences, you can begin your job search. So to begin your job searching, you will click on the jobs icon at the top of the homepage. and select the search bar on top of the page. Once you've done these steps, you will type the job position or company you're looking to apply for. Next page, please. So as I did mention earlier, there are 2 ways to narrow down the job recommendations. And then, so this is the second way you can increase the efficiency and relevance of your job searches. So you could do it by using filters and keywords. So filters streamline the job search process, while keywords ensure that the profiles match the job descriptions. And it increases the chances of securing interviews and positions in the healthcare industry. So these features will be displayed on top of the screen once you have done your job search. With the filters, you can select the date it was posted, your experience level, and job type. And then you can also add specific keywords related to the desired role. And then after completing all these previous steps mentioned, you can turn off the notifications for job alerts. So LinkedIn allows users to set up customized job alerts based on their preferences. So it enables you to receive notifications about relevant job openings in your desired field. And once you have searched for your desired role, the job alert feature will be displayed at the top of the page. You have the option to turn it on or off. And then lastly, it's important to follow organizations through the social media platform. So following organizations helps you learn about the company's cultures, values, and recent developments, which can be beneficial during interviews and when making career decisions. It allows you to stay updated on the industry trends. And then I'll be passing it over to Brandon, who will be discussing marketing strategies.
Yeah, so if you're an organization and you want to use LinkedIn, first step is to define your goals and objectives with your marketing strategy. You want to clearly outline what you want to achieve with your LinkedIn marketing. Second, you want to identify your target audience, because your target audience will have different needs, and you'll need to cater to them separately. Third step is that you'll have to develop a content strategy to target those audiences' needs. You want to create valuable content that appeals to those to that target audience. So this could be articles, it could be videos, it could be infographics. And then fourth, you would want to explore advertising options such as sponsored content and ads on the platform. And also, finally, you want to look at your data. You want to see how well your content and advertising campaign is doing. You can look at key metrics such as engagement and conversion rates. So LinkedIn marketing strategies can benefit individuals and organizations looking to build their brand. They can reach a specific audience and then meet specific objectives. Establishing a solid presence on LinkedIn takes time and constant work, but with a well thought out approach, it can be a very helpful tool to advance your organization's goals. For example, healthcare professionals can use LinkedIn to provide information about healthcare services that the public may need to know of, but they're not necessarily aware of. They can also highlight details of any essential medical services, such as pricing, availability, or even treatment stages. And this is our brochure. And these are our references. Are there any questions? Okay.
Okay, great job. Very thorough. You know, that was a great hint y'all gave on be sure you use an email that will travel with you, because I got hooked in that same thing. So it's a really, really nice job. Before we go on to the next group, I want to ask Humaira, before I forget, because I always do, the general meeting for student forum is next week, correct?
Yeah, so the general meeting is going to be on networking and mentorship, and Kayla is going to host it, and we're partnering up with American College of Healthcare Executives. So I would recommend to check that out. There's going to be a lot of good information, and yeah, just be there.
Is that going to be on Friday night or Wednesday night?
That one's on Wednesday night, but I believe we also have a general meeting on Friday.
Okay. I'm giving extra credit to both of those. Those are 2 extra credit opportunities for y'all to get to attend both of those. And Humaira, can you be sure that I get the links for the 2 of those?
Yes, of course.
Okay, super. All right. Thank you very much for that update. Then our last group is group 1. And y'all can, whoever wants to take over the sharing has got the ability.
Okay, I'll do the sharing.
Okay. You should be able to do it. You should have the ability. There you go. All right.
So today's our topic is Pinterest, and April will start.
Good morning, class. Our healthcare marketing social media project is on Pinterest, and we are group number 1. I am April Sanchez. Next slide, please. Next, we will be moving on to the agenda. First, we will begin with the introduction, move on to benefits and boards of pins, account management, who uses Pinterest, healthcare and Pinterest, Kaiser Permanente and Pinterest, and then we'll end with the conclusion. Next, I will hand it off to Maddie.
Hello, everyone. I'm Madison. I'll be going over the introduction today. Next slide, please. Okay, so what is Pinterest? Sorry. So what is Pinterest? Pinterest is a visual discovery engine that helps their users find inspiration for recipes, style, and for home decor. There are billions of pins that will help spark interest in different things. They can also use the platform to share their own pins through boards and also through pins. Next slide, please.
Can you guys see my screen?
Yes.
So
Sorry about
we-
that. Sorry, I was on mute. For the benefits and boards of pins is what we'll be moving on to next.
sorry.
Considering that Pinterest has various boards and pins, these are a few benefits of the boards and pins. The boards and pins allow people to display their creativity, whether it's recipes, lifestyle, interior design, party decor, and more. It allows you not only to add your own creativity, but to look at others as well and add what you like into your own boards and pins. Pins specifically allow you to be able to share what content that you have and look at others as well. While particularly boards help you organize the content that you have collected. How is this useful in healthcare? Well, Pinterest is useful in healthcare because it can be used to save and share ideas. It also has connecting possibilities as healthcare institutions can connect with others by saving what they like to their pins, to their boards.
Now we'll go over account management. Next slide, please. Okay, because this is a healthcare organization, they will have to create a business account. So when they go onto the website, they'll have to click the right screen and click business account. When they do that, they'll have to include an email, create a password, and enter their age before making the account. After they create the account, they'll have to fill out a few fields about building their account and describing their business. After they do that, they'll decide if they want to run ads or not. After they decide that, they'll click X and then their account will be ready to use. Next slide, please.
Hi, I'm Tanya, and I will be talking about how to create a board. Creating a board is pretty simple. After you create an account, you click on the Save button at the bottom, then click on Boards and click Create a Board. The next step is to add a name. You can add collaborators and make the board private, but those are optional. After you are done filling out the information, click Create. You can then see your new board when you go back to save and click on boards. And then next I will be talking about how to create a pin. To create a pin, you can click on Saved, then click the plus button. Then click Pin. Step 4 is the part where you will add your image or ad. You can do that by letting Pinterest access your photos or camera. There is also the option to search the web. After you have chosen your image, click Next and add information about your pin. Then save the pin to your preferred board by clicking Next. You can then check out your pin when you go back to Save and click Pins, or view it in your selected board. Next, I will hand it off to Naima.
So here we will discuss who uses the Pinterest. To understand who uses the Pinterest, we need to understand the demographics. Overall, half of the Pinterest users, which I say 55%, are between age of 18 to 24. Nearly half, or 49% of Pinterest users, are between ages of 35 and 44. 21% of Pinterest users are between 55 to 64 age group. It is amazing that people 75 and older make up to 10% of Pinterest group. If we see Pinterest worldwide, so we'll notice that Pinterest has an impressive 450 million plus users. 85% of Pinterest users access the platform via mobile app. Global presence of Pinterest is also very striking, with over 80% of its user base residing outside the United States. If we see Pinterest on the gender base, with our research, we found out that it is most popular with millennial women. Almost 80% of the millennial women use Pinterest as for their to save their information in it. And if we see total of 72.6% of the total Pinterest user consists of women. In contrast, if we look at the male side, Pinterest is less popular among millennial men, with only 40% of this demographics engage with this platform. Across the board, men represents only 21.7% of the Pinterest total user base. How Pinterest can play a role in healthcare. That's what we see now. Pinterest many healthcare can use Pinterest as their leverages. Healthcare clinics, hospital, urgent care centers have a unique opportunity to utilize Pinterest as their powerful tool to engage with their patients and promotions across to cover their valuable services and promotions. Pinterest is also visual educational powerful tool. By creating visual boards on Pinterest, healthcare institutions can make pins on healthy food, on exercise, on preventive care practices. This strategy aims to provide an engaging and information platform for their audience, fostering a culture that encourages wellness in the community and also within the healthcare. Pinterest is not only a platform just to introduce new things. It can also promote preventive care and also cultivate a culture of health within and within the community or within the healthcare system. Next slide. We'll see the example.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Mary, and I'm going to be going over a healthcare company. I'm sure you all know who Kaiser Permanente is and how they use Pinterest. Next slide, please. So Pinterest is a great platform for connecting with people that actively seek healthcare information and services online in our current digital era. In order to highlight their services, goods, and expertise, Kaiser Permanente designs aesthetically appealing pins that include educational pictures on a range of medical diseases, preventative measures, health advice, and more. Next slide. Kaiser not only solidifies its position as a recognized expert in the industry, but also shows its dedication to the welfare of its audience. Additionally, eye-catching pins are used to draw attention to sales and limited time promotions, enticing potential clients or patients to learn more about the organization's healthcare services. Next slide. Kaiser Permanente's Pinterest profile skillfully combines consumer involvement, advertising, and information sharing. The whole range of healthcare services, from primary care and specialist treatments to cutting-edge facilities and technology, are displayed using pins. The sensitive care given by medical personnel, the cutting-edge equipment at their disposal, and the good outcomes obtained via these services are all successfully illustrated through visual content. Kaiser's includes endorsements, success stories, and before and after photos in their Pinterest boards to increase credibility and trust. Slide.
Next, we'll be moving on to the conclusion. It would be an excellent social media platform that healthcare organizations can use to increase their online presence. It would help those that are looking for healthcare information in a more digital age. By signing up and creating pins, they will be able to connect more people to services through shared and saved pins. Next slide, please. This is our reference list. Thank you so much. And this is our flyer.
That's it. Thank you, everybody.
Okay, super. Thank you so much. It always surprises me the things that people can find on demographics. Good job. And on the things that, like, I was thinking, wonder who uses Pinterest. Well, that question got answered for me. I don't have very many people choose Pinterest, so it's interesting. Okay, what we're going to do next is I'm going to show y'all the proposal. Excuse me. I'm going to go over the business proposal so that you'll get a little better idea of what I'm looking for. And I typically don't give examples, but I'm cleaning one up that I have from another class, getting names off it and stuff that I can send y'all so you don't go into complete panic mode. It's not perfect. It has errors, but it will give you kind of an idea. I know people like to have examples, and you know, like I said, I usually don't do it, but I decided to do it this time because I have so many requests. So give me just a second, and I'm going to pull that up and share it with y'all. I thought I had it up, but it disappeared. So give me just 1 minute. All right, that's not. Okay. Do I have any questions before we go into that? Okay. All right, everybody did a really good job in their presentations. I'm looking forward to the next one. Okay, so this, you're going to find this sample business plan on the web under modules, under group forms, and your proposal is basically answering these questions. And you can use bullet answers, which is what I prefer. You can do paragraphs if you find that easier, you know, but that's what the proposal is. And typically students don't do as well on a proposal because they don't think of everything. And what I do is I go back and I tell you the things you're missing when I grade it. Then you take, as long as you fix those things and you take that information, you turn it into a PowerPoint for your presentation, and then you'll get a good grade as long as you address the stuff that I found that was missing. Okay, so the first one is the executive summary. The executive summary, it really has to be done last because it summarizes everything that's in the rest of the proposal. When people are looking like banks or people that want to know about your business, they're not going to want to read your whole business proposal. What they're going to look at is executive summary, which is usually just a few pages because it summarizes everything in between, everything that's down below. On the what do I include, I don't typically force you to put that in there, but if you wanted to put things in there, you could just put a list of some of the things you need to be sure and include. It's more just kind of like a notes section, but I don't count off if there's not anything in that section. The marketing highlights, you're going to talk about the main things that you're going to do concerning marketing. You're going to be summarizing what you talk about marketing down lower in the proposal. The target market summary, remember your target market is who are you marketing to? Who's your target? If you were, and you should be reading all this in the book, but and we've talked a little bit about it, but if you're, for instance, doing, okay, let's say you're running a assisted living facility. The majority of your clients are going to be probably over 65, not all of them, but the majority. So your target market then would be, you know, between the ages of, you know, let's say 60 and 100 or whatever it happens to be. But so you probably are not going to be targeting young married couples. So you need to summarize who you're targeting as far as using your service. Your competitive analysis, you're going to have to, oh, okay, I got Salita, what you got?
I just got a quick question. So you said that we can do any facility. So like, are we creating a dummy facility? Like, let's say, for example, if we choose to work on a hospital, can we just name it whatever we like?
Yes,
And
you
based on
can.
okay.
And you can be creative about it.
Okay.
Just,
you.
you know, bear in mind that you want the consumer to know what you are.
Okay.
I've had some names and I'm thinking, what is that? You know, when you're driving down the road sometimes you said, like yesterday I was sitting at Taco Bell, which I don't go to except on rare occasions. And I was at the one on Carson and there was a store that I saw in the little strip shopping center. It was called the Golden Rule. What is that? You know, and I never did figure it out. I have no clue. But so you want to be sure that your name kind of says what you are.
Okay.
Okay, so the competitive analysis is you have to choose a real company that is actually in existence, and you're going to summarize it here. We'll talk about it more down lower, but it has to be a real company, and you have to get information on that real company on what would actually be your competitor. And then you talk about your key marketing strategies. What are some of the main things that you're going to do as far as marketing? What are you going to zero in on social media? You know, what are you going to do? What is some of your key marketing? All these are going to be very short summaries in this executive section. Operational highlights. What are some of the things that are important in your business? You know, maybe your hours. You know, what makes you different? What kind of sets you off? You know, maybe you've got expert in some field. You know, maybe you've got expert equipment that other people don't have. What are some of your operational highlights, you know, then along those lines? Then your intermediary concerns. Every company has concerns when they're getting started. A lot of times it's money, licensing, you know, location. There's all kinds of problems that you have to address before you even get started. Your management team, I don't need people's names, but we need positions here. Like, are you going to have your president that's going to be also your CEO? You know, who is going to be your main management team? Then you've got financial highlights, and that you're going to just highlight, you're going to actually be building a flow chart, a financial plan, cash flow chart, etc. And then what are unique concerns to your business? And that would be, every business has a unique concern. A lot of times in healthcare, it's having the right technology. You know, it can be competition. Maybe there's too many people already out there doing what you're doing. So you need to look at what are some of the concerns for your business. Okay, now that's the executive summary. As we get on down in here to the company profile, what type of organization is it? Is it going to be and I don't zero in on one particular type. If you can prove to me it's related to health, it's okay with me. For instance, I've had people do wellness centers. I've had people do where you go and you breathe that oxygen. I've had gyms that have different kinds of programs that have to do with health. A lot of people usually like to do, oh my God, I'm blanking. Cosmetic surgery places, plastic surgery places. You know, there's all kinds of it's wide open for you. Urgent care centers, I've had those. So if you come up with something unique, check with me, and more than likely I will approve it, because it's you know, if it has to do with health, then and that's something that interests you, it's going to make this project a lot more interesting for you if you you know, if you have something that you're really interested in. So the name of the organization, again, you name it what your group wants to name it, your hours of operation, and consider thinking outside the box. For instance, I know there's a clinic in Tampa that I used to take my grandkids to, that their hours were Thursday evening, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And they got a lot of business because of, you know, a lot of working parents. It was much easier for them to go in on Saturday and Sunday. So, you know, think outside the box on what could maybe get you more business. Scope of the line of services, that's just what services are offered. This link will take you to some examples. Who are your clients served? You know, what basically that's kind of your target market. And the location of your clinics. You're going to have to get an address. You're going to have to find an address. You can go on Zillow or, you know, wherever else you can find information about real estate. It does not have to be an available office. It can be one that's, you know, that you just happen to like. But you do have to be able to give an address. You have to be able to get a floor plan, because you're going to have to rename that floor plan on how you want it laid out. So you're going to have to be able to get information on it. If it's an available office, then it's more likely you'll be able to get that information much easier. The location is the address, and then you're going to describe your business. Profit status, you just simply have to put nonprofit or for-profit. Now remember, every business makes a profit. If they don't, they're gone. So the difference between nonprofit and for-profit is what happens to the leftover money, if there is any. If you're for-profit, it gets distributed to the to the owners, the people who own stock, the stockholders. If you're nonprofit, all the extra money goes right back into the business for salaries and equipment and rent and all those kinds of things. Okay, I'm kind of trying to zip through this. We can always revisit it next week so that I can give you all time to work together. The industry overview, these have got links to show you what I'm looking for. Social changes, you know, a lot of times social changes drive businesses, even healthcare businesses. In California, I was shocked when I first moved here because, you know, a lot of people have plastic surgeons on speed dial. You don't see that so much in Texas. But, you know, social changes might be what's more acceptable now than what was 10 years ago. You know, another thing that is a real social change is like people who have tattoos. 10, maybe even less, 10 years ago, or maybe 20 years ago, tattoos had to be covered for most businesses. Now they really don't. You know, and it's driving a lot of different types of businesses and people who get hired, and so that's an example of a social change, how people view something. Economic reimbursement changes. You know, this has to do when you're doing a business that gets money from insurance companies or Medicaid or Medicare or whoever it happens to be. You have to watch this because it could directly affect your money. So you look at your business, then you go to some of these sites and you find out what's going on in economic reimbursement and how it could adversely affect your business. Demographic changes. This can be aging populations. This can also be location. For instance, if you're planning on opening up a free clinic, you probably are not going to locate yourself in Beverly Hills. But then also if you have a clinic that's already been, let's say in downtown LA, which at one time was, you know, a lot of people lived there that worked in the industry close by. So you had a very different kind of clientele. than maybe what you have now because of the flight out of the city. So demographic changes can have of varying kinds, can have an effect. Economic, poor economic conditions, all those kind of things. And these links will help you. Healthcare delivery changes have changed vastly since COVID. You know, people started having doctors come to your home again, which is, you know, we did when I was very young. Doctors made all their house visits in the mornings and then had office hours in the afternoon. It's hard to believe. But in today's world, for various reasons, because it's cheaper than having an office, you know, they have vans like food trucks, only they're medical vans that will come to your home, or they'll set up a facility in a mall parking lot or whatever it happens to be. Then we also have online, you know, where you can talk to a doctor, teledoc, and some of those that have really changed healthcare delivery. Regulatory, healthcare is one of the most regulated businesses anywhere. You are regulated by the hospital, by the city, by the county, by the state, by the federal government, and by special interest professional organizations. So, you know, you really have to be aware of these regulatory and political changes that might affect your business. Key factors in success of your business. This is some examples, and you can also find it under things like the Department of Labor, the Bureau of Statistics, Glassdoor. There's a lot of places that you can look up your industry and find out what makes it work. What are some of the key success factors? Barriers to entry. A lot of businesses have barriers. They can be the amount of money it costs for instance, if you want to open up a dialysis clinic, it's extremely costly because the equipment that you have to purchase before you ever have your first client. There's, you know, licensing. There's all kinds of barriers to entry that stop people from joining that particular area. Barriers to exit, you know, you can't just shutter your doors and say, I'm done. If you have patients in the pipeline that you've been paid for by insurance companies, Medicare, Medicaid, whoever it happens to be, you're going to have to find a place for those people to go. Another company that will pick them up. You can't just stop, or you'll find yourself in jail for a breach of contract. Okay, the service overview. What is the proposed new service proposal's unique features? What makes you different from everyone else doing this service? And what value do you offer to your key target markets? Why would they use you? And then what are some of the benefits of your new service? And how are you positioned against existing services? That's your competitors that are already out there. And then this is a really high point. What are you doing differently that's going to make them come to you instead of to your competitor? Okay, on the competitive analysis, you have to find a real competitor. I can't emphasize that enough. You have to find a real competitor. I've got a question here. Hang on, let's see. Okay, it is going to be a presentation that talks about, someone asked if it's going to be a presentation or report. The final presentation is a PowerPoint presentation that's going to be a presentation on why someone should give you the opportunity to start this business. It's this is when you get through with this business proposal. If you really want to start the business, you could basically take this proposal and go to a bank because it has all the information they would want to see if it was done in real time. You know, we make up numbers and stuff for the flow chart and stuff, but this is what you would have to do to start your own business. So yes, it is a presentation. What is their point of differentiation? What makes them different from you? What are some of their high points? You can get this information from websites, from you know, looking at report reviews. You can get this information from a number of places that you can find out what makes them different. Most of the time, the website will give you a lot of information on them. What real value do they deliver to the customers? Others do not. You can also get that from the website as you look and compare them to others and maybe to what you plan on doing. Also, you can look at their reviews, and there's a lot of review places you can look that not just like Yelp, but they're specifically for medical professions. Then you're going to describe their customer profile, and you can tell that by looking at reviews. You can tell that by looking at what exactly are they offering. If they're a plastic surgery clinic that specializes in, I'm just going to say something that would never happen, but specializes in removing acne scars. More than likely, or specializes in creating a way to give things to do to teenagers to give them a higher self-esteem as far as plastic surgery, then you would probably be targeting ages 15 to 25. That's kind of what you're looking at. What is their customer profile? Whereas if they do things all ages and maybe it's all elective surgery, then your customer profile is going to be high, either middle high income or high income to be able to afford to do it, because insurance companies typically do not pay for elective surgery. Then you're going to detail their pricing strategy. If you don't find that on the web, they have to make that available before people use their service. So you would have to maybe call, ask for, do they have a pricing do they have a pricing form, or do they have anything that delineates the prices of some of their procedures that are not usually they even if it's covered by insurance, but typically if it's not covered by insurance, they need to make that available to clients. You don't have to tell them you're a student. You can just say you're interested. What is their marketing or advertising approach? Are they word of mouth? Are they social media? Are they old school? The billboards. How are they advertising? And why do customers use them or refer them? And you can also find that in reviews, and you can find it. They might flat out say on their website. And then what are the opportunities or threats? So this is where you think, what can we do that they don't do? Maybe they are only open 8 to 4 days a week, and that's an opportunity for your company. But maybe they have one of the best plastic surgeons in the nation. So that's a threat, How can you turn that into an opportunity? Okay, I know I'm going through this fast, but you'll have time to digest it, and I'll give you time to ask questions also. The place, again, you have to find a real address. What are the costs associated with it? If you are in a building, you're going to have all their utilities. You need to call the utility companies, or on Zillow, sometimes they tell you the average cost of the, like the gas, electricity, whatever it happens to be. What about janitorial service, security services? All these things, you need to get an average cost for the area of where that business is. What is the marketing importance or advantage of this location? And that can also be a number of things, like maybe it's close to public transportation, maybe it has great parking, maybe it's close to other medical facilities. If you're like a Botox clinic, then it might be, nice to be close to a high traffic area. People might just pop in, it's like a lot of think about what you're doing and what would be important to get clients into your business. And that would have to do with your location. Okay, and that along the same lines does it provide a competitive advantage? Are you close to anybody else that does the same thing? If you are, then maybe you need to think about it. If you're not, then it's definitely a competitive advantage. And then any kind of exit issues, which I talked about earlier, that you would have if you had to shut the business down. Okay, pricing, you need FTE is full-time equivalent. So you will need to have your, find out how much you're going to pay these people, and it's got to be local, like the average salary local to the area that you're in. And you can get these costs from Glassdoor, from California Employment Commission, from Bureau of Labor Statistics, Department of Labor. All of them have this information. So what does the average CEO get with the number of management, with the number, well, my mind's just gone blank, with the size business that you are in wherever you happen to put it. And you do not have to stay in California. You can open a, you can have a business in Texas or Arizona. I had one group that did a nursing home, and they found this building in Phoenix that had been something else, and they adapted it, did a floor plan, adapted it to where it would be a great a nursing home. So you don't have to stay local to California. Remember, overhead is everything you cannot directly charge for. It's the overhead is your electricity bill, what you pay your receptionist, any kind of expenses like that you're going to have to pay even if you don't have a single client. They're indirect costs. You cannot directly bill them. The margin is what is your profit margin, and it describes it in the book, but basically it's what is your margin? How much are you bringing in? How much are you making, and how much, or are you going in the hole? This is a very simple answer: low, medium, or high. Where do you rank as far as your competitors? Do you cost more? Do you cost less? Or are you about the same? Most people don't go looking for a cut rate doctor or a cut rate medical facility. They usually look for who's the best, not who's the cheapest. Whereas you might, if you were buying a new car, you probably would find a dealer that had the best deal, but that's not the case. So even if you say you're in the high end, that's not a bad thing all the time, if you provide a service that is much better than your competitor. Again, how are you going to deliver how are you going to deliver your service? Clinical protocols and description of best practices for your business. You can find those. You cannot just make those up. Those are out there. There's plenty of places you can find them. Again, the Bureau of Labor Statistics, Glassdoor, some of the professional organizations that go along with your business. Cost analysis. This is there's a calculator here you can use, and you have to include direct and indirect, which we're going to talk about in just a minute, because since you aren't a real business, a lot of that is going to have to be estimated. Okay, you're going to have a flow chart. Oh, you're also going to have to, I don't know if I missed it on location, but on location, you're going to have a floor plan of the building, and you're going to have to label that floor plan with what you want in each of those rooms, as well as the size of the rooms. And there's usually somebody in every group that is good with computers that will be able to do that. And there's lots of free software on the web that will allow you to do that also. Okay, the flow chart, you're going to have to show an actual flow chart on what happens to a client when they first come into your business, and then how they flow through your business and ultimately leave your business. And it actually has to look like a real flow chart. And there are also free software out there on the web you can do that with. Your full-time equivalent is requirements are: who do you need to keep this business going? Do you need one doctor, one nurse practitioner, one receptionist, or, who do you need? And you don't list people, you just list positions. And then, okay, here's where the space requirements, here's where the floor plan goes. What are you going to need to do what you want to do? So you should be sure and get a building that has a floor plan that can adapt. Okay, human resource plan is, this is, you have to talk about your clinical, both full-time and part-time, and you just list who it is that you're going to need, the type of position, and if they're full-time or part-time. Under compensation, you got to find that rate that's common for the area or average for the area. What benefits are you going to offer? And then give a detailed listing of the job description. And then 4 is the roles and responsibilities of each of those job descriptions. The roles and responsibilities will be a bit different than the job descriptions, because job descriptions can be gotten from other places that are very general, but the roles and descriptions, responsibilities are what your company wants them to do. You're going to have to create a balance sheet, an income statement, and a cash flow statement. And there's examples in the book as well as on the web. You can typically find any business that is held by stockholders has to make those records public, so you can find them on the web. You can get examples of what kinds of things need to go in there. And on most of it, you're going to have to estimate like how much money are you going to be billing out for the first year. Are you going to have to get loans, and how much expenses are you going to pay? What are you going to be your startup costs? What's it going to start to open those doors? And then promotional expenses, that's, what it's going to cost you for to promote your business, marketing basically. And then insurances, various kinds of insurances that you're going to have to pay. Okay, that was very quickly done. I'm going to close it now. Don't any of y'all start to panic, because I'm going to send you an example. And once you get into it, believe it or not, this project is one of the ones that my students over the years, it has been their favorite thing in the class, because so many people say, well, I don't want to work for anybody. I want to open my own business. And then they see just how difficult it is. You really learn a lot about every segment, how marketing fits into the whole picture, and how a business, what it takes to actually start a business. Okay, do I have any questions before I put y'all in your groups so you can kind of talk? You'll have about 10 minutes to talk. I think your contract is due on Sunday. Any questions?
So just to clarify, we are creating a fictitious company that we're starting up.
That's exactly what you're doing.
But we're comparing to other companies that do exist so that we can come up with similar values.
Correct.
Okay. Okey-doke.
Okay, anybody else? Okay, I'm going to open up the
I have one quick question, sorry.
Uh-huh.
So per person, it's like 3 references. Is it okay if we use more than 3 because of how much information we will
Yes.
need from outside sources?
Absolutely. It's a minimum of 3. You
Okay.
can use as many as you want.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Could you put that document in, is it in modules or something?
It's in modules under forms,
Under forms.
group forms.
Okay, thank you.
Uh-huh. Okay, rooms are open. So y'all can self-select.
Professor, the group contract is 1 submission per team, right?
Correct. 1
Okay.
submission per team. Oh, no, wait. No. The group contract is everybody. 'Cause I want everybody, I want to see that everybody agrees to what they're being told to do.
Okay. Sounds good. Thank you.
Uh-huh.
Hello, Professor. I just wanted to say sorry if I came in a little late for my part on the presentation.
Okay.
I am at work, so
I figured
didn't
that probably
realize.
would. I remember you told me you work, believe it or not, I do remember some things.
Okay.
But yeah, that's fine. I understand.
Okay, thank you about that. Thank you. Sorry about that.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.